Hey everybody, welcome to a new Let's Play series, Star Trek Bridge Commander. I'm sorry I'm having to re-record my impressions on the game because when I transferred it to my Mac to listen to it, it was horrible. I couldn't hear a thing. So this is my solution for now. I'll try to do better when recording it on my Windows PC because this is an old Windows game. I don't even remember when this game came out. It came out years ago, and I've had it for a really long time. This is still my original copy of it. I have the game disc and the manual somewhere, but I don't have the box anymore, unfortunately. But this is a game that I have always enjoyed coming back to and playing. I like the story. I like the setting, obviously, because I'm a big Star Trek fan. I like how it's basically a bridge simulator. You just are in the center chair as captain of the USS Dauntless and later another ship. You have your crew that you cycle between, different people who have different jobs. And it's got a very mission-based structure, but there's still like that element of Star Trek mystery or Star Trek intrigue about it. I don't know, I really always have liked this game. I showed it to a friend one time who's also a Star Trek fan, and one of his things was it didn't feel like there was a lot going on as a game, and I guess that's true, is that it's not always gamey, although you can, take control of the ship and fly it around using the WSDA control configuration, and there are hotkeys for different functions for the Starship, but for the most part, you are just sort of in the center chair, and you are commanding people with your mouse and keyboard instead of verbal commands, which would be really cool, but at the time it was revolutionary. Yes, that is the likeness of Patrick Stewart. His voice actor did make an appearance. You'll probably get to hear his voice in the second episode because I hope to solve some of these audio issues by then. Right now I'm being introduced to the different members of the crew as he is showing me around the different stations. This is the engineering station. This is my engineering officer named Brex, and he's, kind of the comedian of the group. He's got a sense of humor. Him and the science officer here, who I always forget his name, they have this, neat little rapport. It's funny is that the crew members have lots of personality because, the captain himself is sort of a blank slate. This is my tactical officer. Tactical's up front instead of helm on this side, like it is on the Enterprise. But one thing that was always interesting about Star Trek lore, this is your helmsman, is that the stations were configurable, or I always assumed they were, that because of the Lacars of the Next Generation, that, if a captain wanted his helmsman on the left instead on the right, it was totally up to, a captain's prerogative. He could arrange the bridge how he saw fit, and that Picard liked his bridge a certain way. He liked his ops officer up front, and so that's why Data sat in the left front chair. But this is my bridge, and I like the idea of the thinking that this is how this captain, the captain I'm playing as, would prefer it. Captain Picard just serves as a tutorial prompt. Pretty much. He doesn't stay on the ship very long. You have your science, engineering, as I already stated, helm, tactical, and all these guys have, men and women have personalities. They're different alien species. They have different things going on. And each one of their stations does different things. So we're on our Galaxy class bridge. I think for the time period, the graphics worked pretty well. Obviously they're kind of chunky and blocky, and character models are kind of old, but there are lots of mods for this game, so if you just cannot stand the sort of classic look, this is the WSDA controls for moving it around. If you can't stand the more classic look, then you can literally mod the game to your personal liking. I was trying to show off the shortcut keys there, and shortcut keys fill a double purpose whenever you're recording. They apparently turn off the recording, so I had a little glitch there. I'm using the helm to set a course. Actually, I tried to hail somebody, and then I was like, well, we'll set course. That's what we're supposed to do. To Starbase 12. So I click the destination, and then I click warp, and the ship goes to warp. So that's like me being on the bridge, issuing the commands. I like the little cars panels that you get to use to issue those commands. I think it's fun. So we arrive at Starbase 12. Lots of things to see. You have the base, and you have other ships there that you can scan or communicate with. But I just go into nav points because I want to get closer to the starbase. Like I said, this is just a long tutorial. It's not an unbearable tutorial, I don't think, but it is long, and it still contains some of the storytelling intrigue, despite being a huge tutorial. Starbase 12 sort of serves as your base of operations. If your ship is damaged, or if there are other problems, then you can go there and have it repaired. So this is, your liaison at Starbase 12. This is the guy who's always picking on you for bringing the ship in beat up and stuff. You just click dock and you go in. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Like I said, you can reload your photon torpedoes. You can repair damage to the ship. I currently have like the glow effects on. I'm turning that off for the next episode because it's a little too J.J. Abrams for my taste, but if you like the extra glow mechanics, you can have that on. So we're taking on supplies because our first mission is a relief mission. We're going to run around and help some people out after a big explosion of a star that killed the captain of this ship. I was their first officer, or the character you play as was their first officer. So the captain was killed, and now I'm in command because even though the captain was lost in a shuttlecraft, I managed to save the ship, so I'm in charge, was promoted. So you can review your objectives, but I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to set course for the Vesuvi system, warp, and zip, bang. Away we go. I'm sorry you're not getting to hear the wonderful voice acting because of my mess up, but I will have the voice acting for next time, along with the music. If CBS doesn't copyright strike my video because of the music. Maybe they won't. Music is pretty classic Star Trek. It changes, like when you go to red alert, it immediately switches to more of a battle theme. Although it's still, it's not very Star Warsy. It's not boom, 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 boom. It's still very kind of laid back and Star Trek like this guy's headband. He's rocking it. So he's telling me that he's got some rocks that he needs, destroyed so that I can deliver his goods because, we have this giant planetary explorer spacecraft, and right now I'm just playing delivery boy. I guess, I know that Starfleet's humanitarian relief efforts, and this is probably one of Starfleet's colonies and all that, but it just seems like there's probably other ships that we could be doing this, but Dauntless is a big ship, can help a lot. So we're going to talk to Tactical, and we're going to break up some rocks coming at us. First I put the ship in standard orbit, which was a mistake because it took me further from where I wanted to go. Gonna have red alert for weapons and shields, so I'll do that. And click no torpedoes, phasers only, because I want to save my torpedoes because I only have 300 of them. Don't want to waste them. They're valuable. Later on, you can select different types of torpedoes when you get a different ship, but good old Galaxy first off. There's a lot of options for the combat. You can fire torpedoes one at a time. You can fire them in spreads like the show or in pairs. I usually stick with one at a time because, sometimes the first torpedo will miss if you're tracking a moving target. Also, you can manual fire, which is what I'm doing here. I'm using the reticle. It's fun. When I used to play this game several years ago, when I'd get bored playing it, I would put it in combat mode, and then I would do the manual fire, and I would cut the warp nacelles off of ships and stuff, just for fun, doing something goofy. And the ships wouldn't blow up because they have their own health bars and stuff, so you could like literally just cut pieces off of them, or mess them up in different places. Some ships are more fun to cut apart than others. Usually what happens when I play this game is I play through the campaign, and then like I'll apply a bunch of mods that I find, and then play some of the campaign again just to see how it's different. And then I'll just go into the ship to ship battle mode and add ships. Like the Excelsior class is not in this game, which to me is kind of weird considering how prominent the Excelsior class was in Star Trek for so long. But the Ambassador class is here, and the Ambassador class is my favorite ship in all of Star Trek. So it's a little bit of preacher gamer trivia there. I love the Ambassador class. To me, it's a great hero ship. It's too bad it never really got its own little show about it, and I doubt they ever will do anything like that, because nobody's going to be listening to a fan like me. So, but it'd be nice. Everything's about new ships, and the Star Trek ships I think nowadays are a little too angular. I always like the round older ships, and Ambassador class, Galaxy class. I have sort of a controversial opinion about the Enterprise E. I think it's too angular. I don't really care for it that much. I wish that they had not destroyed the D in Star Trek Generations. I mean, I think that you could have still had a very exciting finish for that film without completely destroying the D. It's just really a shame that after all the things they did with it in the show, it was taken down by this weak old Klingon bird of prey that should have never been able to beat it in a firefight. But sometimes writers don't consider those kind of things. So I always prefer the D to the E. I would have loved to have seen it in some films. In the engineering section, I'm tweaking weapons and engines so I can go a little bit faster. This isn't going to deplete resources and all. You can also see the menu there where you can see the damage the ship takes. As we play and as we fight other ships, you'll see that. Some more debris was coming into the system, so I have to go break up some rocks or they'll crash into the colony, and that would be very bad. Right now, the computer's AI is, running tactical. I can change, I'm showing where I can change the photon torpedoes and stuff. I have displays for which torpedoes have been fired, which phaser arcs are depleted. I like how there's sort of like a realistic, like you can't just fire one phaser infinitely, like it will deplete. And when it depletes, you have to change to a different one. You also see the shields, the sensors, all that good stuff. So I'm just, selecting targets. You can select targets using hotkeys, but I'm sticking to the mouse because I hit a button and bad things happened earlier. I think the ship models probably are the best thing about this game, but like I said, even if you didn't care for them, you can get like mods for this game that make the ship models unbelievably good. I'm also running it in the highest resolution graphics that the game can run. It's kind of funny because the cutscenes are in very, very base resolution, but they put in some features to where you can up the graphics for more powerful PCs, and obviously the computer I'm running it on is, it took me 10 minutes to load this game back up after years of not having it on my computer, and I remember loading it back in the day and it would take hours on my PC. My PC was so much slower. There was an online multiplayer at one point. I don't think it's still active, although there's probably some, forums out there, servers or something. You can go out there and have ship battles. I used to see how many ships I could load into a simulation at one time, without crashing my computer. We may try something like that as a bonus episode or something. But I also like the idea of the rotating phaser arcs because you get like this dynamic view of the ship. I'm just clicking the space bar to switch between, being outside the ship or inside the ship, depending on what we want to do. So I just switch back inside using the space bar. The scientist guy, he rarely gets used. He's just comic relief, really, along with the engineer. We use him sometimes. The main 3 stations, though, are helm, tactical, and of course engineering. So we want to go back to the planet so we can beam supplies down. This is the director. He's very grateful for us saving his butt. The planets are a little on the small size, I guess, compared to what they should be compared to this giant Galaxy class ship. But I suppose that's understandable because, if you made them like real size, that would be that would probably not be able to be run on a 90s computer. It's going to beam down some supplies, and the director's going to be so happy. I like how whenever dialogue happens, like the individual characters will do the little lip sync thing. The voice acting in this game, I think I already mentioned, I really think it's pretty good. You do hear some, repeat voices here and there, but for the most part, everybody has their own little voice actor. Everybody's got a good deal of personality. The crew chats a lot, and it's a real casual atmosphere on the bridge. You can lower power levels for certain systems. What's funny is if you lower the sensor array, then the sensors just stop working. I'm getting new orders here for a new mission, but I think I'm going to wrap up this episode, and we'll pick up the new mission next time. So if you like watching some Star Trek, here's some lost Star Trek episodes for you, I guess you could say. But let me know what you think of the video in the comments. Like, share, subscribe for more content like this. I'm going to keep playing this game at least for a little while. I may not play through the whole campaign because the game can be pretty long, but I really enjoy it. I don't know, we'll see how much interest there is in this sort of thing. But you guys have a great day. God bless.